and the EBITDA growth in the fourth quarter of financial year 2019?
So we have completed the first full 12 months after going public, and I would like to kind of give you a roundup on the annual numbers first. We have grown our revenues by 400 crores. Our bottom line has grown by 24 crores. The top line, of course, is a growth of 13%, bottom line being a growth of 32% over there. There are some firsts that we wanted to report over here. This is the first time that our non-automotive business has touched more than 1,000 crores. Also, as you know, during the year, we have now declared a dividend of 18%, that is 1.8 per share. We also, as an organization, crossed a net worth of 500 crores. So all in all, the year has been a good year for Mahindra Logistics.
So in the fourth quarter, if you see, the margins have remained flat at close to 4%. So going forward, do you see some levers that could lead to margin expansion, or the margins would remain at this range of 4% also?
So actually, being the first year after going public, there is a RSU ESOP cost that has been debited in the fourth quarter. If you kind of neutralize that, then our margins for the fourth quarter also have grown. Our PAT is 25%.
Okay, and going forward, do you see some levers that will aid the margin expansion?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I have been saying, as we grow our warehousing and value-added services, our margin expansion should take place. In the last 1 year, we have grown our warehousing business by more than 30%. Our share of warehousing in our non-Mahindra business has now reached 26%. If you look at the industry as such, the logistics industry in India, 85% is transportation and 15% is warehousing. But post GST, there has been a lot of focus on consolidation of warehousing and large format warehouses coming into the country. A lot of investment also coming into the country in warehousing from REIT funds, and we as a 3PL logistics player are looking at this as a huge opportunity for us to grow our value-added services. Warehousing is one area where the margins are much larger, and therefore the scope to expand margins overall is always there.
Okay, on your warehousing capacity in FY19, you expanded that to 15 million plus square feet. So what are your plans going forward? How do you do you have any plans to expand this warehousing capacity? If yes, and also if you're seeing how is the demand for this warehousing capacity currently in the market?
So we added a little more than 1 million square feet last year, and we are looking at adding another 1.5 million square feet in the coming year. This is, of course, from our end. If the customer demands for more, then definitely we will meet up with the customer's requirement. But what we are seeing is that the demand for warehousing is coming more from the consumer-facing industry, and that is the industry that is changing the way that it has been doing logistics pre-GST and post-GST. With the demand for consolidation and setting up regional distribution centers, these warehouses also are now, what they are asking for is to build up A-grade warehouses, which from safety standards and other standards like racking, the material handling equipment, is far superior than what was there in the country earlier. And therefore, we as a third-party logistics player are well poised to take on this warehousing boom that is going to happen in the next year or two.
Okay. Also in the fourth quarter, if you see your non-MMSCM revenues, now that grew nearly 11% compared to last year. Now compared to the earlier growth rates that we have seen, it is at a higher rate that it has grown in the fourth quarter. But going forward, how do you plan to ramp up this segment, and should investors expect a higher growth rate from this segment?
So basically, if you look at our fourth quarter overall growth, this is the first time that we have clocked more than 1,000 crores in a quarter in Mahindra Logistics. And that's a good sign for us because now we look at all the new customers that we have come on board in the last quarter of this year. They take a little time for implementation and their full potential will be reached in the next coming year. So we are confident that if the industry is stated to grow at 10 to 12% in the next year, we as Mahindra Logistics should exceed that growth.
But you're specifically talking about the non-M&M-SCM revenues here now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And if you see for FY19 as a whole year, your top 20 clients contributed nearly 65% to your total revenue. So how do you plan to diversify this, and what are the new clients that you have added in the fourth quarter?
So we have, like I said, added a lot more customers to our portfolio, and there is a conscious effort to bring that concentration down. However, we do like large multinational customers, so it is not about reducing our share of business from them, but about adding our share of business to our other customers. Clearly, when we look at the consumer industry, there are a lot more customers that are now ready to move to third-party logistics players than it was pre-GST, and therefore we see adding a lot more names from the consumer industry onto our customer portfolio. Our largest industry vertical growth has been in the last year in the consumer industry, and we, for the next couple of years, see that trend continue.
Now on the PTS business, the growth has been good, and the margins are also been very stable for this segment. And so what is your outlook when it comes to the PTS business, and how do you plan to expand this business going forward?
So as I've been saying, in the last 1 year, we have invested a lot in technology specifically for our PTS business. We look at technology to enable us on two counts. One is, of course, to bring that safety and security that is required in that business. As you know, more than 30% of the employees that sit in our vehicles are ladies, and we mostly transport them late evenings or late nights. So security for the customers is very, very critical. And we also believe that this technology will help us to optimize and bring down the costs, because we compete with the unorganized sector in this particular business, and bringing down costs will enable us to get more business. The opportunity in this segment is large. Today we are doing B2B, that is, all our contracts are basically with the companies. But the employees of the companies who do not get transportation from their employer also want to avail of these facilities, and we are seriously looking at expanding our portfolio to those employees.
Lately, we have seen a slowdown in the auto sales volume. So has the company been impacted anyway because of the slowdown in auto sales volume?
So the good part for us as Mahindra Logistics is that our automotive business is comprising of passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and also our farm division, which is tractors. And when you look at a combination of these three, although yes, there is a slight slowdown, but not as sharp as just the passenger auto vehicle has witnessed in the last couple of months.
Okay, sir. That would be all, sir. Thank you for speaking to Bloomberg Quint.